Today we're going to be making chicken fried rice. So here's our rice, which is a basmati rice. It's supposed to be better for y'all. So get the basmati rice. It doesn't have all the extra additives and the bleaching, and it's supposed to be not enriched and all that good stuff. So right here we are dicing up our onions and green peppers. I am using yellow onions because that is what I had at my house. But feel free to use a different type of onion. Here, you're going to take clean chicken tenderloins, and you're going to clean them up, and you're going to pat them dry. I didn't really peel that little piece of fat off, y'all. I leave the fat on there sometimes. You know, a lot of people take that off, but for a recipe like this, I'll leave that on there. So once you pat dry your chicken, you're going to go ahead and add in all your seasonings, like your cayenne pepper. And if you like it spicy, add a little bit more. Next, we're going to be putting in some onion powder. And I just love it. I think I cook with onion powder and garlic powder like every meal. Here, I'm just adding a little olive oil. I should have did that first, but I forgot. You're going to go ahead and add in some black pepper. All right, now our garlic powder. And I tend to go a little bit heavy on that sometimes, but it's up to you. Then we're going to add some Creole seasoning. For today, I'm using Slap Your Mama, but feel free to use Tony's or whoever else you want to use. And then I'm going to put in a little bit of Old Bay. Now, I'm going to go in with my hands, mix it up really, really well. And after you mix it up, if you really want that seasoning to get deep down into there, you can definitely let it sit in your refrigerator, maybe for an hour or two. For today's recipe, I'm going to go ahead and just cook it. I think it might have been in the refrigerator for 30 minutes, maybe after this. I doubt it, but you can cook it right after this. If you feel like you need to add more seasonings, definitely do that. Just, try not to use as much salt-based seasonings. A lot of the Cajun seasonings have a lot of salt in them, so make sure we are reading the package on that. Next, we're going to add a little bit of butter to the pan. Make sure your pan is dry. I didn't. There's a little bit of water in there for where I rinsed it out from earlier. Of course, as soon as that oil and that grease get hot together, that water is going to start popping. But you want to add a little bit of oil, maybe about 2 tablespoons and a tablespoon of butter. And we're going to let that melt down. Once that melts down, okay, yeah, I guess I'm trying to make the butter melt. We're going to add in our veggies. All right, green peppers first and then the onions. I'm trying to do this as neatly as possible, but here we go. So we're going to add those in. I'm going to turn the heat up. I would suggest maybe cooking this on medium-high. Of course, you can cook it on medium. It just takes a little bit longer. But I'm going to cook this on medium-high. And then, of course, here we go. We're going to add in some mushrooms. And these are some white mushrooms. These aren't the darker ones, the bellas. These are some white ones. And that's what the grocery store had left. So that's what I got. Or that's what I had left in the fridge. Either way, we're using these mushrooms today. So you're going to put those in there. Let them sit. I always let mine sit for a while because I think I'm doing some stuff in the background. But you're going to let these cook down. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start giving this a stir because we want it to evenly cook. Don't do like me and just let them sit there while you're doing whatever in the background. Go ahead, give them a good stir so they can get that butter and olive oil on both sides of the mushrooms and the green peppers and the onions. Typically, I like to cook mine down, but it's up to you how you want to do your thing. But I do like to cook it down, until the onions are really translucent. I like to cook down the mushrooms as well. I don't really like a tough mushroom in my chicken fried rice, but you know, do whatever you feel like is best for you. This is your chicken fried rice. You have to eat it. You can also, if you like, you could have diced up the mushrooms. I like to keep them whole because I just think that adds a really, really great texture to the chicken fried rice. So once you cook them down, it should look something like this. You might get, you know, the butter might start to brown a little bit. The olive oil should prevent that, but as you can see, I got a little leftover remnants there on the left hand side from that butter. So now we're going to add in a little bit more butter and olive oil. I'm going to let that melt on down. And so you should be going ahead and pulling out your chicken tenderloins out of your refrigerator. If you did let them kind of marinate in them seasonings for 30 minutes or 2 hours or whatever. And what we're going to do, you're going to get your skillet up to medium high. And then you're going to go ahead and add in your chicken tenderloins. And you don't want them too close, but you definitely want all of them to be able to cook and breathe here. If you're cooking with gas, you know how your oven cooks. It might cook a little bit faster than cooking with an electric oven for whatever reason. It does that. But make sure you are watching this as it cooks. If you need to go in and check it, you feel like your heat is up too high, definitely cut it down. Because you don't want to burn it, but you do want to kind of get that crisp on each side as you cook it. All right, so you can tell that it's cooked on that one side because you can start to see that white edge. Okay, if you want to cook it a little bit longer so it can be a little bit browner on that side, you can. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and flip mine over because I do want them to kind of cook evenly on both sides. Okay, come on, piece of chicken. Go on and lay down. Do right. Definitely, I have a pair of little tongs, but if you got a more sturdy pair, use the more sturdy pair of tongs because with the grease popping and all of that, I'm telling you, because they're really, really short, like really short. If you got a longer pair, definitely use the longer pair. But flip them over, it should be smelling really, really good in your house by now. This smells excellent. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to let these cook. All right. Once it cooks for a while, a couple of minutes, you're going to turn it over. And as you can see, it's like it looks brown. Got that kind of brown look to it. They're done. We're going to take them out and we're going to dice them up. You don't have to do this while they're hot. I don't know why I decided to do this while this was so hot, but I did. So this is your chance to check your chicken. If you're one of those people who don't know when their chicken is done, you can cut it here and look in there and see if there's any pink or uncooked parts. I know this is cooked. I done did this a million times, but this is my chance. You know, I'm going ahead and dicing this up. Also, you might want to let it rest because when you do cut it when it's hot like this, some of the juices do run out. So you could let this rest a little bit longer. I didn't let it rest too long. As you can see, it's still like piping hot. But allowing it to rest allows that juiciness to stay within the meat. But you're going to go ahead, take your time, and chop up all the pieces of the chicken tenderloins. All right, so we're moving on to our next step. You're gonna add some butter in a itty bitty skillet because we are about to make our fried egg. So you're gonna take your eggs, you're gonna take some time, you're gonna scramble them up. That's what I'm doing right now as the butter is melting. I'm gonna scramble, scramble, scramble. I don't add any seasoning to my eggs. I just scramble the eggs. But if you're one of those people that need to add, a little onion powder, garlic powder, maybe some fresh parsley or anything like that, this is your time to do it. And what I do, I just leave it on here. I think everybody should know how to fry eggs, but you're gonna put your egg in your skillet, let it cook a little bit, and then you're gonna take your time and toss it. I did pull out my spatula for this because I've been scraping at the bottom of my pans. Usually I just pick up the first thing, but it's easier with this to kind of fold these egg yolks over when you use a spatula and to really kind of get those edges and all of that good stuff. So if you have a spatula, use it. If not, gently use a fork or a spoon so you don't scrape the bottom of your pots and your pans. Okay, next what we're gonna do, we're gonna add our veggies. My veggie of choice is some green peas and carrots. No, these are not fresh, but feel free to use fresh carrots and peas. I use a frozen bag of them because it's just easier for me. All right, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add in our rice to this. Stir it on in. All right, it's been sitting for a minute, y'all, so it's kind of sticking. So, but go ahead, add your rice in, stir it in. I did it like a little bit at a time as I stirred it in. And then you can go ahead and put your skillet on about medium to medium high. I would suggest medium just because the veggies are already cooked, the rice is already cooked. So maybe about a medium, maybe right between medium high would be a good temperature to add all of this stuff. But you don't have to. You actually can do this in a cool pan. I'm not. I'm gonna do it in a warm pan. But yeah, as you see, I just turned it down. So we're just gonna toss this around and then come back in, add a little bit more rice. And again, if you made your rice earlier like I did, it's gonna be clumpy. And I suggest that you make some rice earlier and then put it in the fridge, because making this with fresh rice, you're not gonna get the texture of rice that you need, because you need that rice to be pretty stiff. So when you make it earlier, go ahead and pop it in the fridge. I don't know if I said that earlier or not, but put it in the fridge, y'all, so it can get cold, it can stick together, or maybe some day-old rice will be really, really good if you got some leftover rice. This is a really good meal to make out of that leftover rice. So here I am again adding in a little bit more rice after I stirred in my mushrooms, green peppers, and onions. And then again, I'm kind of breaking that up. And then we're gonna just stir, 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 stir. Okay, now we're gonna add in some soy sauce. You don't have to put this much. You don't have to put this much, but I like soy sauce, so I put this much. And you can add it, stir it up. You can add a little at a time and stir it up, and then if you feel like you need some more, go ahead and do that. But if it's your first time doing this, I suggest to put in a little bit at a time with the soy sauce, especially if you're trying to cut back on your sodium or salt intake. And then of course I went ahead and put in the fried egg that I cooked earlier. I'm gonna toss that on in here as well. And you're just gonna continue to stir, stir, stir until you kind of get an even stir in here. All right, so next we're going to be adding in our chicken pieces. So you should have chopped up some chicken, the chicken from earlier. Now you're gonna go ahead and toss that in here. One thing I think that I did leave out from earlier was the sesame oil. I don't know if I got that in the clip, but I did add a little bit of sesame oil in here as well to give it that really good authentic taste. And if you don't put the sesame oil in here, it is not going to taste right. It's gonna be missing something. That little bit of sesame oil is all that you need. You do not need a lot because that's a really strong flavor oil. And here I'm adding in some fresh diced pineapple. What I wish I did do was add in more pineapple because that sweet, salty, kind of savory taste was so good. But go ahead and stir in the pineapple. And please don't knock it till you try it because I'm telling you, it's so good when you add in that pineapple to your chicken fried rice. So we're gonna take this off the heat and put it to the side, and then we're gonna clean up, y'all. Cause I can't stand this, but I make such a mess in the kitchen when I cook. But we're gonna clean this up so we can get prepped to make our little sticky sauce, our teriyaki sauce next. All right, so in the little skillet again, we're gonna add in some butter. We're gonna, of course, let this melt down. And go ahead and get all your other ingredients out that you need for your sauce if you haven't already done that. All right, so next we're gonna be adding in our minced garlic. All right, and just let it cook until it becomes fragrant. And when I say fragrant, I mean you can smell it. It's gonna smell good. I kind of put my soy sauce a little early, but put a little soy sauce in there. Okay. Let that bubble up. Let that simmer all together. Stir it in there. I'm using my tongs, y'all. Use a spatula, guys. But again, I just picked up whatever was near me. And then we're gonna add in our brown sugar. And again, all our measurements will be in the recipe link below. There, we're gonna add in a little bit of chicken broth. And if you don't have chicken broth, you can put a little bit of chicken bouillon in some water, and that'll work for you as well. Add a little bit more soy sauce again. Y'all know I don't measure while I cook, but I'm definitely give y'all those exact measurements. I'm gonna give y'all exact measurements at the bottom, so don't worry about what I'm doing. But as you can see, you're gonna get it, and you're gonna turn it up because you definitely wanna get it nice and hot and get it to a boil, go ahead, take your honey out, pre-measure your honey, okay? And what we're gonna do next, we're gonna squeeze some of this honey on in here after it gets to boiling. And this is gonna act as our thickening agent. All right, that looks good. I'm telling y'all, this smells so good. If you like sesame seeds, you can go ahead and add in some sesame seeds here if you would like, or if you want to add in some green onion or some scallions. This is a good time to add this in and just thinly slice those and put those in. But after a while, it'll start to thicken and it's gonna look something like this. So once it cools off, guys, it's gonna be like a little glaze, kind of like a little sauce glaze thing as it cools off. And you're gonna be able to put that on top of your rice. Okay, and it should look something like this. It should kind of run kind of like this. It's not super thick like a syrup, but as it cools, it will kind of thicken up. But that is going to be our teriyaki sauce that we add. So this is our end result for our chicken fried rice. I'm telling you guys, it is so good. Okay, so this is the time for us to go ahead and add our teriyaki sauce. Don't mind, if y'all can hear my boyfriend in the bed, don't mind, you're on the phone talking to somebody. But you're gonna drizzle that teriyaki sauce over the top, okay? And you can put as little as much as you want. If you want to put everything in, you can. We're gonna put our finishing touches of that some dried parsley on top, you know, because y'all like it when it got a little parsley on it. But here are just some up close shots of what your chicken fried rice should look like. And guys, when I tell you, this is so good, definitely try this out. Please let me know what you think about this recipe below, and we will catch you guys next time. Remember to subscribe and like this post.